If you want to get good at creating sad and emotional melodies, make sure you watch this video. So to start out, major scales usually sound happy and minor scales will sound more sad or dark. And you want to start out with a root progression, which would be these notes at the bottom here. Once you have a basic idea of how you want the chord progression to progress, then you can start to lay out notes above it. So to ensure that you're sticking to the scale, you can click this note icon, which if you don't want to use any borrowed notes, that would be a pretty good idea. But if you do want to use borrowed notes, then I would just keep it off. And a borrowed note is basically just using the major version of the minor scale while you're playing the minor scale. And then if you want to make sure that you're playing a proper minor on the 1, 3rd, and the 5th, you can go to stamp and then minor, and it'll have the notes lined out for you. So the only difference for the second chord right here is that it's a major since it's 4 notes up instead of 3, which can still have the same emotional impact as long as you're still sticking to the scale. So yeah, basically a minor chord is the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. And it's the same for the major chord, which in this case, we're using the minor scale, like I said, but it'll still sound sad. And I arpeggiated it by bringing the 3rd note in by a 4th and the 5th note in by a half of a bar. And this is kind of what it sounds like. In my personal opinion, I think that slower BPMs or tempo will sound pretty sad. Faster ones tend to be more melodic, and songs that are played in lower frequency ranges usually sound a little bit more dark. And another tip that you can do to make it more interesting instead of just a simple arpeggiation is adding filler notes or repeating the same notes that were played in the chord, and this can add more of a cohesive effect. So here's an example. You can have this E note play twice in the same chord. And then you can have that, but I like the simplicity of just the one note. Yeah, if you want to get this melody, check out my website. It's only $10 for like 30 different samples. And yeah, drop a like and a follow if you enjoyed.